I am currently in the middle of 44 series and I need to work on that a little bit. So in today's video, I'm going to do an I can't stop reading until I finish a certain amount of series, but I'm leaving that up to chance. Let's pick how many series I need to finish. And we're talking finish, meaning getting them off my list. Whether I actually finish a completed series, that's a way I could do that. Whether I DNF a series and I decide I no longer want to read it, I'm counting that as finished. Or if I'm just like up to date in like current publication, that also counts as finished for me. The only thing that doesn't is if there's still books out that I need to read and that I still plan on reading. So let's do it. Let's figure out how many series I need to finish in this video. Hey Siri, pick a number between 1 and 10. I don't know if you can see this. 8. Did you see that? I hope you did. 8 series we need to finish. Could have been like 5. Okay, well, let's make some progress. Let's do the damn thing. We're gonna start this vlog off with a bang, and we're going to pick up something that will have me completing, well, not completing, it'll have me catching up on a series, which brings my number down, because a lot of the reasons why my number is high again is there's been so many sequels that came out to books I read last year in this last quarter when I haven't really been prioritizing series. So for this one, I'm going to pick up Promise of Blood, which is the sequel to Servant of Earth, which I gave 4 stars. I almost gave 5 stars last year. Is it actually already last year that I read this? It has to be, because the next book came out, but that feels wild. What is time? I really liked Servant of Earth. I feel like it felt different, but also felt similar, and I think that that's a very hard balance to mix. And as I've picked up the second book, I'm listening to the audiobook. I actually highly recommend the audiobooks for this series, but I'm on chapter 4, and as I've picked this up, I have been easily remembering what happened. As I said, it's been a year, and typically for me, I'm such a series marathoner because I like to just exist in the same world, and then why I need this series was if I don't marathon them, they end up just sitting there for so long, and then I forget a lot about them, and I don't really have the urge to pick them up, and I'm like scared that when I pick them up they're not going to be as good. I'm not going to remember things from the first book since I'm not much of a rereader. But for this one, literally the second I was back in this girl's head, I was remembering everything that happened in the first book, and I think that says something about how unique the first book did feel. That like balance it wove to be this premise that felt really cool but also had the same like Fae lore and stuff, that it just like really much, I picked it up, read the first chapter, and the first chapter, like the audiobook just went into my brain, grabbed all the knowledge out, and now it's like at the forefront of my brain again. I don't know if that made any sense to anyone else. The only thing I feel like I'm actually struggling with is going to be the 2 men, because it's a love triangle-esque moment in Servant of Earth, and in Princess of Blood, did I say Promise of Blood earlier? Well, in Princess of Blood, we're back and like we have moments with the men right away, and they do read a little similar, and I'm just like, okay, I need to remember which one was what and which one did what, because I have 2 distinct paths I remember the men going on, but I don't remember who was who at this point. But I'm only 4 chapters in, so I'm hoping the book will continue to remind me of those things, because it has done a good job with other characters and with the plot premise of the first one. The first book follows our main character, who ends up being taken to the Fae realm as a human and is given to a Fae court, the Earth Court, to be their servant. Now she's given a pretty high job. She's given the job to help the princess, the Earth Court princess, compete in some trials, essentially help her cheat, because the queen of the Earth Court does not think the princess will make it through without help, and who better to help than a servant, which we all know from like everything about like servants and royalty is that a servant can go unknown, a servant can get into areas and be talked around. The royal people, the people with money, just think so little of them that they don't really watch what they say and things like that. So she is the perfect spy, and we watch all of that happen as she builds some friendships, and there's also like a lot of like conniving, and like courts want to bring other courts down, and that itself in that setup feels so familiar. This is what I'm meaning, like that feels so familiar. But then there was other other things that I loved that made this feel like so unique, the ending and like some of the things that happened there for me felt really unique. I can't say that without spoilers, but like who she is and what she becomes was like a twist on something that was really familiar. And then I love that they were all underground, and there's like a reason that they're all underground, and it's this like little underground society. I want to read more books that just have like underground worlds. It feels really cool to me. This is elemental. There is like the earth, fire, water courts, but then there's also the blood court and some other courts, and I thought that was really interesting. I mean, that's not the most unique concept, but it's more unique than just the 4 elements, if that makes sense. And then there's also like a sentient blade that I really like their personality, and there's like a lot of like really like interesting like details of this that were really unique, and those stick out to me and made me really enjoy this story. I'm excited to be back into this world. I'm excited that this is working well for me because, as I said, I highly recommend the audiobook, and I'm going to be playing Disney Dreamlight Valley and listening for the next couple days. Well, probably not couple days. I'm probably just gonna do this until I finish this book. It's going to be a binge, that's for sure, which is good because then I'll feel really accomplished right off the bat in this vlog, and we'll get that number down within like a day, and that'll feel good because I got a lot of reading to do in this apparently. Why did I set myself up? Like, I chose what this vlog was. I like a challenge, you know? I'm just heating myself up some soup for lunch. I am literally obsessed with tortellini soup or ravioli soup. I have the recipe pinned on my Instagram page, but I can link it down below if I remember. If not, someone annoy me in the comments. It's literally so easy and it's so good, and I switch out vegetables and stuff all the time. Like in this one, we ended up putting cabbage because we were out of kale, and it's still just as good. It heats up well the next day. It's literally my go-to dinner, and it makes so much that there's always leftovers, and I swear we all love it. Like, anyone I've cooked it for is like, yes, this is delicious. But while I do that, I figured I would update you because I am making such good progress in Princess of Blood. It's so easy to listen to this while I'm just playing my video game. I also ended up getting the Disney Dreamlight Valley DLC for Storybrooke Vale yesterday because it was on sale, and I was like, well, I'm gonna want to play this, so I may as well get it when it's on sale. But anyways, while I've been playing that, I've been listening to this book. I do think that if you like book 1, you're going to like this book. I don't have a lot to say about the sequel. I think it has a little bit of like middle book syndrome just because it's like setting up a lot, but I'm also really enjoying it. I'm not like, oh my god, at moments like I was in the first book, but I'm appreciating what it's doing. I think it's been set up really well. I think the way you learn about the world in book 1 and then how it just gets expanded on in book 2 was done really, really smart. It does not feel overwhelming at all. This in some ways reminds me of what I loved about the Cruel Prince series, and I would love to read more series like this. This is the type of fae story that I enjoy, because often I say I don't love fae stories. I think I love a human coming into a fae court and having to learn the rules and the vibes and all the politics and stuff, because like there's things like faes can't lie, and then there's just like all the different rules within this high society of fae that this human is now just like learning for the first time. This is the type of fae story I like, not the fae story that's like a long lost fae. And I do think this has inspiration from the Cruel Prince with how our character is integrated into society and like what she does, and I appreciate that. I think it's completely different from the Cruel Prince, but I can see the influence, and I think classic stories tend to do that. If you go back thousands of years, all the stories we read today are based on stories that have been written a long time ago. Like there's all these creative concepts, and then it's on us whether we think that they feel unique and original, and I think this one has done a lot of uniqueness and originality but also made it feel so familiar, which is what I said in the last clip. So I'm enjoying like the expansiveness of the world in this one, and I am really enjoying all the politics in this one. If you like a political heavy book, I think you're gonna enjoy this. It kind of reminds me of like how Jade War had a lot of like boardroom talking in it. This one does as well, but I'm finding this one a lot more engaging because there's also like balls and things like that, and just like tiptoeing around each other. And then I think our character's so refreshing with her trying to tiptoe but also just being like, listen, I'm human and I don't know your rules and I'm gonna do what I want, and like kind of just making up her own rules. I also think there's really good commentary on wealth and society, and also leadership and dictatorship, and how no leader is going to be really perfect. I thought there were some really strong lines about how you're going to elect a leader that you think is better than the last, but someone else will find that leader a villain. And I thought that was really deep, because with power, we know power corrupts. And I think that that's such a strong line to follow in literally everything, in books, in movies, but also in our day-to-day life. We're all different people, and so sometimes what I think is good, someone else will find bad. I mean, there's evil things. There's things that are literally like go against human rights, but then there's little things that are just disagreements and stuff. And I just thought that was like really interesting to hear about in the story, and I think it's done really well. I'm intrigued. I think I don't read this for the romance. It's not the strongest romance in my opinion, but if you like a softer love interest, I think you'll like this as well. I think he's a big softie. So there's that. I'm gonna keep reading and I'll finish it soon. I'm wearing brown, so I'm gonna blend into literally everything here. But I finished Princess of Blood. And guess what? We're giving it 4 stars. I feel like we started off strong. We got 1 book down, 1 series off my list. Currently, I don't know when the 3rd book comes out. I'm assuming September-ish next year. So I have a good time to go where this book will be off my list, and that feels really good. I give myself a pat on the back. I don't think I have a lot to say about this book. I liked it. I enjoyed it. If you liked book 1, I think you'll enjoy this one. It's a little bit slower. It's got some more politics in it, but overall it feels the same vibe as book 1. It just expands a little bit more. If you liked the characters, you'll continue to like the characters. We have a little bit more of like, we know what direction the romance is going in this one. We see more of that romance. We see more of her making bonds with other people. I liked it. I thought it was good. It's not a new favorite of mine, but I think this series will stick with me, and I'm excited for the next book, and I think that's all I can ask out of a book. Not every book is going to be a holy grail, 5 stars, goes down as the best in history. Some of them are just going to be enjoyable, and this one was. So we're gonna move on, but I don't know what I'm picking yet. So let's just move forward to the next clip when I do know what I'm picking. Hopefully. I unlocked pumpkins last night to be able to farm them in Disney Dreamlight Valley, and that makes me so happy. But the thing is, now that I unlocked them, I know that the only thing I want to do is play this game. So even though I should be smart and I should read another one of those final books I have to read, because there's a lot of them, there's a lot of books that would actually knock something down, and that's the whole point of this video, I think I'm gonna pick up Dungeon Crawler Carl 5 and listen to that while I play Disney Dreamlight Valley for like a full work day. This is unhinged, but it's all I want to do. I'm trying to grind out this Star Path because I just started playing, and so I have like a little bit more to do before I get like the house skin in the Star Path, and that's all I really want. And then the new Star Path comes in like 6 days or something like that. So I'm just trying to grind things out currently. I'm trying to make some money. I'm trying to enjoy my life. And Dungeon Crawler Carl 5 has been calling to me because the rest of my family's done. They all started after me. I was on like book 4 when they started, and they're all caught up. And I'm like, oh God, I can't talk to you about it because I'm not done yet. So, will this turn into a DCC binge? That is possible. Honestly, I currently have no thoughts. I just love Princess Donut. Especially in this one, I feel like her humor is peak. I also liked a lot of like the parts where Carl was like, oh, I should be feeling more than I'm feeling, and you're seeing how like the system does get to you. I thought that was really interesting. What a solid critique right there. You're not my person anymore. Carl is. He's always been. Happy tears. Oh my God. Also, I named my horse for the Dreamlight Valley expansion pack Carl. Because I'm listening to Dungeon Crawler Carl. So, I now have a beautiful polka dotted spotted horse named Carl. I made it halfway through Dungeon Crawler Carl 5. I really don't have a lot of thoughts on this one. I feel like it fits with all the rest. If you like the first 4, you're going to like this one. It's weird to me that I love this series sometimes because of how like monster of the week they are. Like every book is a different floor, a different battle, but it is very like similar. Like it's just like a new monster. It's a new ground to survive. Like it's a new video game level. It's so interesting because I normally hate things like that, but I do for some reason find this so refreshing, and I find each one feels unique enough, even though it's like monster of the week. And I think because it has like this like theme of like the real monster is the people that are putting this on, like the level is the monster of the week, but then on top of that there's this grand scale of like capitalism and greed being the forefront of a bad system. And like all my favorite moments are moments about that, not necessarily moments about the actual level themselves. I got dirt underneath my nail and it's really bothering. Get out. I just think like that storyline is so compelling for me to read. Taking down that system, how the system has failed us, the critique on those systems, how we become a part of the system. All of those things are just like so beautiful to read about in such a heartbreaking way, because it is a critique on our society. It is a reflection of who we are as people and what is happening to us. And I think that this story, if you took away the humor, would be so depressing, but the humor has really made it feel like a good pacing, refreshing. It's given us some hope at times, and it's made characters who aren't necessarily the most likable be lovable characters. I mean, Princess Donut, if you think about her, just her existing, I'd probably hate her as a human character. I'd probably hate her in a lot of ways, but the way she's written, the way the humor comes across, every little detail, the moments you get of her emotion are so well established that I love her to death. Even like Samantha, who should in theory be one of the most annoying characters, even the premise of her could be annoying. I eat it up. I think it's hilarious. I have a good time. I also think it adds commentary on our world more. I feel like also I'm someone who complains a lot about pop culture in books sometimes, and I think it's because the type of books I read, I don't want pop culture in them. However, in this, the pop culture I think just like establishes more of the critique and all of that, and I really do enjoy it. I love when we get it, when we get little moments of like, this creature loves like an Earth reality show or something like that. I really do love it, and there's some moments in the story that have been heartwarming, and I'm just excited to continue. I have a lot of moving to do. We're supposed to move this Saturday into this house, so I'm not sure how much reading I'm gonna get done because I've been reading while playing the video game, obviously. And when people are around, like as we're moving, I'm not gonna have headphones on or anything because I'm gonna have to like tell people where things go, and there's gonna be a lot of talking. Like I can't just have headphones on while we're moving furniture and like hit walls and stuff because I can't hear people giving me directions. So there's that. But I figured we could do a little book haul because I've gotten some books in the middle of this. The first one doesn't really affect this video, but I feel like the other two were talking about series that I love, so I feel like it makes sense to be in a Reader DNF video. This one is the Owl Crate Sci-Fi. This edition is so ugly. I actually just canceled this. I am planning to do... I made a hole somewhere, but now I lost my hole. I am planning to do an Owl Crate, like unsubscribe my wallet, even though I've already canceled. I just knew I wasn't going to be continuing in the sub and I didn't need to waste more money, but I want to do it still because I think it's an interesting perspective to watch and hear people like comment on the whole editions and the books as a whole. I think this is like a really boring edition in my opinion, and this would not scream I'm gonna read it to me in the bookstore. I own The Grace of Kings by this author and I'm intrigued for a sci-fi by him, definitely. I'm still excited to try it. Oh, that art is really pretty. Oh, I don't like him as much, but the girl in this, stunning. Oh, this is, I complained about this in my unsubscribe my wallet for Owl Crate Romantasy. I love their Under the Dust Jacket art. This is literally stunning. Why can't we turn this into a book cover for me? Reversible book covers, reversible dust jackets are in. We want them. I want two options. I'm greedy. So I think this is literally stunning, and I wish it had the title on it somewhere and I could make it the dust jacket. There's dinosaurs in this? I had no idea what this was about. Honestly, I'm really hoping that I didn't just accidentally cancel and end up loving them all. But this Nikki book is really pretty as well. They are stepping up their game. I will give them that. The other book that came to me was the City of Brass Deluxe Edition. I love this series. It's actually one of my all-time favorite series. I haven't actually looked at this one. I just unpacked it. Oh, that's pretty. There's this really pretty gold embellishment on the naked book. And then just some other ones on here. Not a reverse dust jacket, but I do think like this dust jacket is really stunning. I would never flip that. And then this is just what the end papers work. But I actually really think like that edge is really stunning, especially for like the concept of this book. I'm really happy that they're making these because I don't like the standard US edition. And they have the weird little like flappy thing on the cover page that I dislike. So I'm happy that they're making these because I do think this artwork is stunning and I'm excited to have this. Okay, this I wasn't expecting to show up at my door. This is the Illumicrate like legacy editions. They're like 10-year editions. I have been eating these up. I've been buying so many. Anytime they release one, I'm like, that's my favorite series. I need to get it. So I wasn't sure if this is Scythe or Poppy War. I'm predicting the Poppy War because I ordered that one first. But the Poppy War is like pretty much my all-time favorite series other than the Aurelian Cycle. Oh yeah, that's Poppy War in there. They're so elegant. Oh my god. I saw the spine and the spine is gorgeous. This is the Burning God. Let's just... This is so stunning. Look. Oh, that's upside down. Who put this in upside down? I'll fix that and then I'll pull it out for you. I'll pretend like I haven't seen it. I also did not realize that these were No Dust Jacket. I love a No Dust Jacket book. I think that they look absolutely stunning when done correctly. And in my opinion, No Dust Jacket with a slip cover. I normally don't use a slip case ever, but I think I will on these ones because I just think like that looks really pretty. This one's not upside down. It's stuck. It's a thick boy. This one is the Dragon Republic, and that's also very pretty. I love the tone of this blue. I will say one thing I've been loving about these editions is the tones of them. I literally will never cancel my Illumicrate Horror because I want access to these. So far I have the Bone Season, the Final Strife, the Poppy War. The purple in this is gorgeous too. Oh, look at that spine. That spine is everything I've ever wanted. Stunning. I have no words. I have no words. The details in these, holy shit. I also love that they like still pay like homage to the original covers that are also this like white, and I always thought the white covers were so stunning. I like that they have 3, 2, and 1 on them too, on both sides. I think that that's real gorgeous. I'm actually obsessed. My only complaint is on number 2, there's like blue right here. I don't even know if you can see it. And it looks a little bit like spilled ink in my opinion compared to the other ones. But I also get the vibe. So I think 2 is my least favorite, which I think it was my favorite book. But I think the tones of these two go like really nicely together. Guys, so much has happened since we last talked. Nick and me officially moved. Last Saturday, what day is it? It's Wednesday. So on Saturday we moved. We've had a couple days here. I didn't film any of it. It was dysfunctional. There is literally just boxes everywhere still because we're still both working. So we haven't done a lot. Also, we've only renovated the upstairs currently. Downstairs hasn't been renovated. I think a couple things you did miss is us picking our trim, but I do have clips of that from before. And I was gonna make a moving vlog, but that never came to fruition. I'm just gonna insert that in here where we struggled to pick our trim color. Okay, moving vibes. We are pretty close to being done. Our whole house is painted this beautiful white, except for Nick wanted one color somewhere, so you know, I let him have his way. And we have like a green on this like one wall. I think we should paint this wall green too, but Nick is done painting, which is so valid. I do think this green is really pretty, and I'm thinking about putting it in other places in the house, just not like our upstairs, but I do think that this one would look nice. We spray painted this mirror black, which is nice. But now we want to paint our trim, so we're trying to decide on what color to paint all our trims, like around the doors and like the baseboards and things. So we have lots and lots of options. Picking paint colors is like my nemesis. I hate it. I love it and I hate it all at once. It just takes so much work. We have some painted in this hallway. I think it's too dark in here. I think I'm leaning towards this one. It is a different color on this side. It's a little bit lighter. I think I'm leaning towards this one because it's darker and you can see. And then we have a green one here, which I don't think either of us like. And then technically the one I want to win is literally the same color as the whole house. Like I just want a color drench. And on this one, there's just like shoju white on there. However, I don't think Nick's a fan of the color drench. So we're compromising. And I'm going to paint, I think, this color. And then I got a new color today. I got like a darker brown on this side of this door where we see natural light. And then I'll be able to pick, hopefully, because this is one of the last steps we have to do and then we can start moving in, which is a lot of fun. We've painted more places so that we can see it against this green wall and decide what we're doing. Nick's painting a window over there. And then we've also painted 2 of the bedroom ones. So this is the one I was painting earlier. It's like dark color. I really like this one, but Nick doesn't. So I think we're gonna do the one in this win, which is like close, but like a lot more like simple. And so I think we both like this one. So it's like a compromise. And then we went and we bought a light. So I'm putting this light together because this is what our light currently looks like in the bathroom. The doors are up. It's really hard to tell on camera, but they are a different color. They are like a creamy mocha, and that's like a creamy white. And I think that they look literally stunning. We obviously have more that still have to go on, and there's even more still being painted, but I think it's really coming together. And Nick really wanted like a warmth added to the house. He felt like everything being this creamy white was too white for him, and I think that this is adding that little element. And then we'll pull in all the warm tones and like the black handles and stuff that we're planning on doing. I'm really happy with what we ended up going with. I think it looks really pretty in here. But our upstairs is renovated, but downstairs we're still renovating, but we figured we could move in with upstairs. But then some of these boxes have to go downstairs, but we don't want to put them downstairs yet because downstairs isn't done, so it's a whole struggle. But we're moved. We've been living together. So far it's been fun. So far really, Nick goes home every night because he misses his parents and he's a softie, and I'm home alone playing video games or unpacking or doing whatever I want to do. But in the meantime, as we have moved, I actually did finish Dungeon Crawler Carl 5, which did not help our number goal. It did not help me reach that goal for this video. We didn't get a single series down. However, I did get a 5-star. And so what's better? I think the 5-star. We were in my kitchen because I was gonna make a coffee, but I actually think that might be a little bit loud. So let's unbox. I bought little Christmas gnomes. So Dungeon Crawler Carl 5, I think just stood out to me because of the character work. Specifically the way that this author makes me care about characters that I shouldn't care about, or like I'm only gonna see for this book, and I know I'm only gonna see them for this book. Like every single level we get down and we have like the people that are just the computer essentially, that are there to like help the story along and exist to make this world feel more fleshed out. So you know they only exist on this level, yet I feel for them so much, and I think just the way that it's done has been very good for me and has been like, wow, this is masterful writing. Oh, look, he's so cute. This one's me and this one's Nick because I hate red, so he gets to be red. Oh, I think they're gonna look adorable. And then on top of that, I just found that this storyline for this level was very compelling. I love just all the like way that this has been like campy and fun with still having this really, really harsh world and having us take down the system and having this really big critique on a greater scale of like capitalism and stuff. It's not just this fun book, even though reading it is fun, but there's so much to think about within the book as well. So yeah, I gave it 5 stars. It's my favorite in the series so far. It's actually the only one I've given 5 stars. The rest have all been 4 stars. The plot was fun. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed how we're seeing these characters be smarter. I think the moves that Princess Donut was making, I thought was really good. I love some of just like the corrupt storyline about like the little girl who's hunting with her dogs. The like reveals we got around that had me gasping. I'm very excited to read book 6. How do I get these out? Ah! Help! I got these. There's 2 of them because Nick's grandmother quilted us some stockings. So I need this for them to sit on our fireplace. They look exactly the same, so I'm not going to show you the other one, but this one's very cute. Typically, I put just bread in my brown sugar to keep it moist, but I wanted to try one of these like brown sugar bears because I just think that they look so freaking cute, and I think my brown sugar is going to sit out on the counter just because that's what I use every day in my coffee. So I'm excited to put this in there. And then boring, Nick and me have really old TVs, and at home I had cable, but we did not purchase cable for this house. And so I needed something to be able to watch like Netflix and stuff. So I bought a Roku TV streaming stick so that I could like stream Netflix and stuff until we get a new TV that's like a smart TV. Like my TV is so old. I got it from my great aunt when she passed away. I took her TV. That's kind of savage of me to say, but it's the truth. I also took some jewelry. She had some really nice jewelry. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna go put our Christmas ornaments up. Well, not Christmas ornaments, our decor. Our tree's already up. We stole a tree from my sister because my sister said she wasn't gonna put her tree up this year. And so she asked if we wanted it because she said in her space right now, she'd have to do so much like reorganizing, and she isn't home for Christmas anyways. We actually go to my cabin for Christmas. So she asked if we wanted her tree for the first year that we're in here. And then we'll buy a tree after Christmas when they go on sale. And I said, yes, please. Nick's a big Christmas boy. So after I put these up, we're gonna go downstairs and we're gonna pick out our next book because I need to do that because I have some audiobook listening to do today. So yeah, see you soon. I've kind of been obsessed with these like Made Good morning bars. We need to pick a book. Cinderella comes today to the Valley. So my only plan is to get on my computer and play Disney Dreamlight Valley with an audiobook in. I left my headphones upstairs. That's so far away. This room is literally the opposite. Like this, our master bedroom is on top of this room and that's where I left my headphones, and the stairs are on the other side of the house. Since we didn't get our number down with Dungeon Crawler Carl, I would like to work on that. That's the whole concept of this video. Like, I can't stop reading until I complete the amount of series that, I'm not gonna lie to you, I haven't rolled yet. We'll give you a little insert clip. I have not actually done that, so I should probably do the intro clip at some point today too, so that I know how many series I have to work towards. But let's pick a book. Now, I think my initial instinct of things that I need to read that would like finish a series, I have both of these that are final books in a series, so this would finish something off. However, I've annotated every other book in this series, so I think I want to annotate this one, which means I have to physically read it. I'm also torn. I think I hated the audiobook for Crimson Moth, so I don't think I should audiobook this, especially while video gaming. I need like a good audiobook. I could do this book because I audiobooked all of them, but I feel like I'm gonna be distracted a little bit while I play today, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to be distracted while I listen to this because this is one of the best series I've ever read. I can listen to this while playing video games. I just think because it's like a new update with so many things, I'm just not gonna be as focused as I want to be. So I think I'm putting this one back too. Which means, what do I need to read to finish a series? Oh, what if I read the third book in this? I gotta look to make sure it has an audiobook, but I've read book 1, I loved book 1, hated book 2. So when am I gonna get to book 3? I don't know, but it also feels like something that would be good to listen to while audiobook gaming because I didn't love book 2. And also they're typically really short, so I could finish it today, which is really exciting. And also I read Holly Renee's other series while I played Stardew Valley and was obsessed with Stardew Valley, and so I kind of feel like this like fits the vibe. This follows a princess who runs away and joins like the rebellion, and they don't know that she's the princess that they're looking for. It's a little romance heavy, and Holly Renee writes the best smut. If I can say one thing about her books, it is creative and really well done smut. I'll never forget the book spine. Never in my life will the book spine be forgotten. So yeah, I think I'm gonna look up this, and if this has an audiobook, I'll do this. If not, I have no backups, so wish me luck. It looks like it's like an evening in here, but it's not. I just keep my library so cozy. I did end up picking up the book, the third book in the Veiled Kingdom series. I don't even know the name of it. I'm just under halfway. It's such an easy audiobook listen. It kind of frustrates me though, I'm not gonna lie, because I think that this is good. I'm actually enjoying the story, the plot line, where it went. I think the pacing is really good. What frustrates me is I think I could have loved this had I read it back when it came out. So that's kind of on me because I didn't. But I didn't because book 2 was so bad. Literally in my brain, if I were to recommend someone read this, I would tell them to read book 1, skip book 2 entirely, just be a little confused, and read book 3. Like, make it a duology. I strongly think this should have been a duology. What book 2 is almost felt unnecessary, besides the fact that they do fall back in love. But I don't know, I think there was a way to make book 1 and 3 longer and make it a duology instead of a trilogy, or just add more substance to book 2, because I feel like book 2 felt like such a filler book with maybe like 10 minutes of actual plot that we needed, and very necessary plot. You really couldn't skip it. I am Delulu, like you couldn't skip it, but I hated it so much. It's one of those just like isolated character stories. It's our two characters as they like kind of fall back in love. So I guess if you're more character driven, you might like it. But honestly, everyone I know didn't like that book. Everyone I know thinks it was fluff and filler and too long, even though it was very short. It just didn't need to exist. Book 3 though, I have been enjoying. It's gonna be a 3-star though. Like I just can't find myself obsessed with it or that invested in it because it's been so long. I forgot my love of book 1, and like book 1 I literally loved. I thought it was fun. I enjoyed the characters a lot. I thought like his vibe was really cool. And I think that I'm loving the expansiveness of book 3 with like the magic system and some of the politics and stuff. So I am enjoying this book quite a bit. And that's why I'm not gonna DNF it, but I probably could have DNF'd it just because I don't actually care that much due to how long I waited, which is a me problem, not a book problem. So I would suggest binging this. I would suggest that if you were scared of book 3 after book 2 to not be. I do think book 3 like steps it up again. I still think book 1 is the strongest. It has the best vibes. This one feels a little little bit more basic story that we all like have read a lot in like romantasy, but I'm enjoying it. And I'm waiting for a good smut scene. Really, I'm just waiting for Holly Renee to throw some wild sexual encounters at me and for me to slurp it up. Not even eat it up, slurp it up. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to Disney Dreamlight Valley. I have gotten Cinderella in my valley. It was the easiest thing ever. I picked the perfect time to start playing this game, and this new star path is a lot of fun. I love the star path. I love that this game is just like constantly updating. I've been talking about Disney Dreamlight Valley a lot, and if you don't play it, I highly suggest it. I think it's a lot of fun. I like that there's like quests constantly. It feels like there's always something to do. I also like resource gathering. I've learned that's something I really do enjoy. I like that I can decorate or not decorate. Like, I think that that's fun. There are some like quests that make you decorate. You kind of do a little bit of everything, and then you can also like just ignore things and do what you want to do. I feel like it's a game that everybody plays different. We've been talking about it a lot in my Discord. That's what this is. My Twitch Discord. If you're a subscriber to me on Twitch, you get access to some exclusive chats in my Patreon Discord. It's like a Patreon Discord and a Twitch sub Discord together. You get access to things if you're either one of those. There's like exclusive things to either one, and then there's shared things. It's very confusing. But if you don't know, I stream on Twitch. I'm trying to get back into it. I'm gonna be streaming every Monday and every Friday. And then also I just started a gaming YouTube channel that I'll leave linked down below, where I'll be posting my VODs from Twitch on there after the live stream. So maybe like the day after or something. So if you'd like to subscribe to that, that would also mean the world to me. I may post just other gaming content on that as well. I might try like Instagram Shorts or something. I have been loving gaming in the last year, and so I really wanted to sit down. I actually want to get a new computer, and so my plan is to try to be consistent on Twitch, because I can get extra money on Twitch and make extra money and then use that money for a computer at some point, because this is a good computer. It's my boyfriend's brother's old computer, but it is old, so I could get a much better computer, and I love gaming so much. I've been really enjoying it. Dreamlight Valley is on your Switch or comp, and I do prefer it on the computer, but I own it on both because I also love to be able to like snuggle up in bed on my Switch and play it, and it cross plays, so you can play it and pick up on either device if you own it on both devices. I did have to pay double for it, but I've been really enjoying that. So I'm sure this isn't the last time I talk about Disney Dreamlight Valley in this video, but I just wanted to give like a blanket shout out to my Twitch, my Patreon, and everything else, the gaming channel. So all of that's linked down below if you would like to hang out with me some more. I think I accidentally lied to you all. I do this so often where I feel like I'm enjoying a book in the first half, but then something in me is just like, never mind, I'm not feeling this, and so I'm DNFing this book. I don't know what to say. Really, we're going on this like side quest thing that I dislike in romance books. I don't know if this is a spoiler or not. I personally don't think it is, but I'm gonna get comments that it is. So if you want to know literally nothing about a book, maybe you should skip forward to like the next clip of me. However, I personally don't think this is a spoiler because it happens so often, and like, it's a romance book. We know that they get together, like that's clear, but I don't like when marriage is such a big thing in like the third book. Like, we're wrapping everything up, so we have to watch them all get married and they're gonna gather all their friends. It just feels like a side quest, and I'm like, let's get back to the plot, the nitty-gritty, which is why I'm watching this. Also, I just like don't really like when my couple is just like sappy in love, I'm not gonna lie. I like conflict, whether it's with them or outside influence, outside forces. Like, there's conflict with her dad currently and his dad. I feel like that is way more interesting to me than just like watching them get married. I feel like watching someone get married should be a novella. Put this in a novella and the character readers will love this. Also, we did get a smut scene and there was nothing that like cool in it, which is like a letdown for me, but like kind of probably rude of me to put in the author. She already gave us a really good smut scene in book 1, but I feel like the smut scene in this one was just like a regular old like we're in love smut scene. Nothing like spicy in it. Like, I'll never forget that crawl scene in book 1. Such a good one. But I think I just don't care, and maybe I would not be DNFing this if I had read them closer together. I think that if I were to tell you to read this, I would tell you to read them all back to back. I think that would make this third book interesting, and I probably wouldn't be DNFing it right now if I had done that. But my lack of care, I will keep The Veiled Kingdom on my shelves. I have it signed. I really enjoyed book 1. It's gonna act as a standalone in my brain. We're going to probably never talk about this the series very often other than maybe book 1, but it's not going to be a series that I'm ever like jumping to recommend. Even if I finish this, I just think it was like meh. And honestly, I kind of feel that way about Holly Renee in general. I read her other series and I just felt like it was okay. 3 stars. The first book is the strongest. The rest kind of went downhill. It's like a good time read, but nothing that's going to make like a favorites of the year list for me. And I will say that I have been I've been trying very hard to like get rid of those 3-star reads a lot of the time. I'm trying really hard to prioritize reading things that impact me and that I love. And so the 3 stars I'm continuing are ones that are still impactful and leave like a message behind. And so far, every time I've wanted this to dig deeper, it's been very surface level. Like I feel like we could have more conversations on loving someone who doesn't do the best things, on 2 things being true, like loving and hating the same person, thinking someone's a bad person but they're still your family. I feel like there could be like a lot of nuance in that we are missing. I feel like there's a lot of conversation on like trauma and stuff that could go a lot deeper than it is. Being loved and being seen during your trauma while you are handling the grief of this situation that just happened. I feel like that could just go so much deeper than I feel like it is. And maybe it's just because I'm not connecting to the characters that I'm not feeling that way, but I've decided that I still have 2 hours of this, and why spend 2 hours of my life listening to a book that I'm going to give 3 stars and then probably never think about again? Especially because I'm like, wow, I'm really close to the end and I feel like not a lot has happened. There's been a lot of like, well, the first half was good. I think we're just in a slumpy area, but the slumpy area is making me not want to continue. And I really just don't like the side quest that's happening. So we are gonna DNF. I'm kind of sad today. This is gonna be me like kind of getting real and I might cry. So we moved out and my parents obviously got Miley and Theo while I lived there. They are my parents' cats. I did not take them with me. Nick and me plan on getting kittens at some point, but I'm going back to my parents' house for dinner tonight and I'm not ready. I'm someone who is avoidant. Nick has been back at his parents' house almost every single night to visit his childhood cat and to see his parents because he misses them, and he's like very routine orientated. I am a very avoidant person of my problems and I know it's gonna hurt. I'm not ready to go home and see them, even though like I am ready and I know I'll never be like 100% ready, but I have a feeling there will be a lot of tears tonight when I see them because I miss them a lot. It was really hard to leave them, like really hard. I spent every day with them. They were my parents' cats, but like I definitely had a bond with them. And I'm crying and it feels ridiculous because like I live 8 minutes away from my parents' house, so I can see them at any time I want to see them. But I just kind of worry about them too because they slept with me, like Theo and me. Like I know you all see Miley a lot more, and I feel like Theo loved me and only me. My poor parents. So it hurts. But they are my parents' cats and I am excited to get my own cats. I know Nick is too. So that'll be better too. I think like I miss that a little bit too, and that'll make it a little bit easier. Like having someone, like a little thing in my bed at night that loves me. Nick doesn't count. I don't know why I went on this tangent. There was no reason for you to know this, but I try to be like really open about my life and stuff, and moving has been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it. I'm excited about it. I've been like, it's fun to have my own space, and like it's been fun to find like a routine with Nick to like cook dinner and cook things we want and things like that. I've really like, I mean, I'm fucking 28 years old moving out for the first time. It's been a wonderful experience that I'm very happy that we took this next step in our lives. Like we've been dating for 9 years, like it was about time. But I think we're both struggling with like leaving pets at home. Nick is probably struggling a lot more than me because he's leaving his like childhood pet, and I cannot imagine how hard it would have been to leave Mickey. Who, if you haven't been around, Mickey was my childhood pet that passed away a few years ago. 2 years ago? A year and a half ago? That would have been so tough. So like I do feel for Nick, and he's not 100% ready to get a kitten yet because of that, which is so valid, but I'm ready. I am definitely ready. Okay, end the sap sesh. We are officially down 2. This is our 2nd book off the list. Our 2nd series completed. This does count as a series completed because it's coming off my series spreadsheet. So it does count. I need to be strategic with my next pick. I don't need another side quest like Dungeon Crawler Carl. The lighting is making me look very, very pale, and that's okay because I am very, very pale. Good morning. As it turns out, I cried a lot last night. I have a bunch of clips of me just like hugging Theo. It sounds bad because I'm not talking about Miley ever, but Miley is an everybody cat. Miley acts the same way no matter who you are when you come into the house. She loves you. She just wants you to play with her. Like, I don't think my relationship with Miley is going to change very much. I don't want to cry again. Oh my god. We can't start our day off with crying. However, Theo is a scaredy cat and I'm his person a little bit. And so I know there will be a day where I go over to that house and he's scared because there's too many people there and I'm not his person anymore. And for me, that's the hard part. No tears. No tears. Because like, I'm also very happy for my parents who like when they got these cats, they weren't expecting these cats to attach so much to me. We were like, oh, it happened with the previous cats, but like, that's just because we grew up together. Like I was a baby when we got, well, I wasn't a baby. I was in grade 1 when we got them. So like, they were like my friends. Like I put Mickey in doll clothes. However, I am equally, as an adult, just obsessed with cats, and I am so obsessed with them that I go looking for them and I search them out and then they get attached to me. So yes, these cats were 100% obsessed with me. So I'm excited for my parents to be able to like have the bonds with them that they probably couldn't get because I lived there, and I know my parents are excited for that as well. So like, that makes me happy, and I'm happy to think about the little kitties that I'm going to get. Exciting things today, we have to pick up a book and I'm trying to decide whether I need instant gratification or not. I'm deciding between The Dark Mirror or The Ending Fire for today. This is the ending of a trilogy, so that'll make me feel pretty good about myself. The Dark Mirror is just like getting a thing up to date. There is another book of this coming in 2027, so it's a while from now. But I literally binged this entire, I binged both of these series this year. I loved them. So I'm just trying to decide because this is a lot shorter, so I think I could finish it today, depending on how my day goes. I have to pick Nick up from the airport either today or tomorrow, just depends when he's done work. He's working out of town, so he'll come in one of these days and I have to go grab him, or if I should do The Dark Mirror because, you know, vibes. So this is my decision for now. I'm gonna play Disney Dreamlight Valley, of course. I also have laundry in, and currently I'm cooking my breakfast croissant, which is a chocolate croissant. If you have not gotten them, there's croissants at Costco. It's a big ass box, so I recommend splitting it with someone. However, I could eat the whole box. So, and you have to bake them. So it goes in your freezer and they're pre-rolled, but you just like let them thaw for 20 minutes and then you stick them in the oven for 20 minutes. And it's incredible. They taste delicious. I put chocolate chips on mine this morning. It's going to be what I drink with my tea this morning. I have tea, not coffee. If you see a big cup like this, it's probably tea because I don't have to get a perfect ratio. Okay, that's it. I'm going to figure out what I'm reading and I'll update you in a bit and not cry anymore. I ordered pho for lunch, this like nice big bowl. I am very, very excited to dive into it. My battery's flashing. Uh-oh. Okay, let's talk fast. So I'm on chapter 7, which is 100 pages in. So far, this is my least favorite of the series. That could be because of the break I took between them. I'm just not as good when I don't like binge a series. And then I also feel like it's a lot of just like meandering currently, and it's taken me a bit to figure out exactly where we were in the world. I think because what the first 3 books in the series are and then what the next 2 become feel very different, but also just feel like it's expanding on those first 3 books, so I understand why. And I think part of why I love this series is how expansive it truly does feel. However, in order to be expansive, we go a lot of places, we meet a lot of people, and sometimes I'm hindered by that because we are back to hanging out with people that we met in like book 1 or 2 who were impactful in those books but we haven't seen for 2 other books, and now we're supposed to like care and we have to learn all about them again because they've also done things in the last however long the last 2 books took. So like in a rebellion, it just makes sense. Like these people are going off and they're doing other things for the rebellion, and I think it makes a lot of sense, but it takes me longer to then get invested again, and I find that that kind of hinders the enjoyment. I'm excited we're back with these characters. Book 2 is my favorite in the series, which I think is a hot take. I think a lot of people think it's the weakest in the series, but I just loved getting to know like the gang, and so I am excited that we're getting back to a lot of those characters because I really enjoyed getting to know them in book 2. But they've changed a lot. They've gone through a lot of growth just as Paige has gone through a lot of growth, and so it's gonna take me a while, I think, again to get super invested. I'm seeing why this book is so long, but also I'm worried it's going to feel too long because I think this first 100 pages felt a little long for me. It just felt like it was trying to get its footing again, which was helpful because but also I typically like when a story like jumps right into it just for my personal like plot action vibe. This felt a little bit more character moving, but also is about characters that I haven't seen in so long, so I didn't care as much about them. So it's kind of like a weird circle that's happening, but I am excited to continue. I am a little bit nervous that the next book doesn't come out until 2027 because me and my binge reading ways might suffer if I'm already suffering a little bit in this book, having only waited like 3-4 months. According to Libro FM, I am 62% into The Dark Mirror. Chapter 21. Wait, I just opened this randomly and I think I got really close. That was chapter 19 we were in. Impressive. We're about there. Not that that really made a difference. This is my least favorite book, I think, in the series. This feels like a setup book, which makes sense because it's supposed to be a 7-book long series. So I have 2 more books, and I just think that this is setting up those final moments, everything that we need in those books for like a big climax in book 6 to then the resolution in book 7. This, to me, has the middle book syndrome of like, we're just with characters as they meet other characters and they just develop plans, and we're just like learning more things about the world so that that thing can affect us in book 6 and 7. It just really feels like that to me, which it's a long boy. I think it's the longest one in the series. So for it to be a setup book and so long is not working in my favor. Also, I think there's a relationship in here that I'm just like, I get annoyed when authors do this with their relationships. However, I also understand the conflict of it, and I think it's real and natural and a normal reaction to something like that. I do think this book really feels grounded in real reality and like real emotions characters go through for me, real like rebellion tactics. We don't just see the good, we see the evil. Like I feel like Samantha Shannon has done a really good job of just like making this feel honest. And so even when I don't like a specific thing, like these character relationships and what's happening with them right now, I can appreciate it for like the craft of it. And I just think this whole series as a whole is super well crafted. Doesn't need to be 7 books long. I would probably argue that it doesn't. I think books 4 and 5 for me feel like a quest because of what they are and where we go in the world and things like that. I just want to get back to what we had in book 1, 2, and 3, I think, and back to like the main events. These feel like side stories that do affect the overall whole, so it's not like I can't appreciate them and I don't understand why they're there, because I think that they are there to make this feel so expansive for us to understand everything going on, to make it feel that grounded in reality sense where like, yeah, of course something like that would happen and you would go off to do this and that would happen and things would just like spiral from there. But I don't love them as much as I loved the first initial events, but I still really do like this. I feel like I'm talking about it like it's going to be a 2 or a 3 star. I'm enjoying it. It's probably going to be a 4 star. I just think it's not my favorite in the series, and I've loved so much of the series that it feels a little bit like a letdown in some ways. But I also just am not someone who gravitates to what this story is. But I think if you're a character reader, if you prefer like those slower like setup moments, you are really going to appreciate this book. And for me, I can understand that not every book in a series is meant for the type of reader I am, and I appreciate the ones that are fit for other people too. Like I think a well-crafted series has books that are meant for every type of reader, and I think that this is just one of those that I can appreciate but not be like head over heels obsessed with, but I still really do enjoy it. So I don't really know what I'm saying here, but not a lot of thoughts. Gonna finish it. Don't think I'm gonna have a lot of thoughts at the end. Technically I've started another book, but I'm not sure I want to tell you about it quite yet because it's just my bedtime book. It's the book I'm reading on my Kindle, so I only read like 2 chapters a day. So maybe when I'm far enough into that I'm obsessed with it and want to not read it just at bedtime, I'll send you an update because that's how I read. A chapter a day, and then all of a sudden I finished the whole book in a day. Also, I bought a vacuum today. I did big girl stuff. I bought a $500 vacuum on sale. So not actually spent $500, but it hurt my soul a little bit, but it'll make my life so easy, and I'm glad I did it. And I know that a vacuum is not something to like cheap out on. So like I'm glad. I'm not upset at all. I think it was the right decision, but I could have spent that on something fun, but now I have to be a grown up and vacuums aren't fun. It was ugly too. Why did they make vacuums so ugly? I looked for a good vacuum in my price range that was just all black. Nope, it has to be this bright, ugly, like teal color. I just want a black vacuum, thank you very much. Or a white vacuum, or an all gray vacuum, or like just like a nice neutral color. Is that too much to ask? Apparently. I think I'm pretty much in the same spot I was before in our last clip, but We have updates. We've done some things. We finished The Dark Mirror. I'm giving it 4 stars. I have nothing new to say about this that I haven't already said in this vlog. It felt like a separate mission. This felt to me like, okay, I'm worried that as the series goes on, book 6 is gonna feel the same way. So I think that 4, 5, and 6 to me feel like when a movie series does so good that they just keep making sequels, but they're just like formula. I'm thinking like, you know, like the Fast and Furious movies, or there's like the like thief movies where they go on like a heist and they just like, there's no real like substance to them past the first 3. Like the first 3 Fast and Furious movies have so much like real like interconnected plot, and then these kind of just feel like side missions that they're going on. There is interconnected plot in that. I'm not gonna say there isn't, because I did like those moments. But what made me actually enjoy this book was having our characters back, and I'm worried in book 6 I'm not gonna have that because I don't really care as much about the ones that we're going to. It is in Canada though, which is kind of cool. But I just am worried that 4, 5, and 6 are going to feel so repetitive of like villain of the week, like monster of the week. We have this thing we need to finish off, and I want to get back to like that overarching plot, and we are setting up stakes for that overarching plot in this, but the actual like plot of this book is its own like monster of the week almost, and it's not really my vibe. I still enjoyed this. I'm still giving it 4 stars. I just love these characters. I love this world building. I love how expansive it is. All of those things. But this definitely is my least favorite in the series so far. My favorite being the Mime Order, and then my second favorite probably being the Bone Season, and then the 3rd one, and then the 4th one, and then the 5th one. I really hope the 6th one breaks that spell and goes like up higher again. Yeah, it's got a little bit of middle book syndrome, but we're done it. We finished another series. So what are we at now? I need to learn to write this down. Okay, we caught up on Princess of Blood, so that was 1. We side quested, we read Dungeon Crawler Carl 5, so that was nothing added. We DNF'd the last book in the Veiled Kingdom series at like 80%, so that's 2. So this is our 3rd off of our list. So I'm almost halfway. And what's really scary about this next pick is I can't figure out what I want to read. And I looked at my spreadsheet and I was like, nothing's really calling to me. So I'm gonna leave it in the hands of a wheel. And Cassidy chose Violence for some reason, and I was like, there are things on this list that I'm never going to pick up, and that's why things aren't calling to me, especially the audiobook form of them. So what if I put anything that I went, why would I pick that on this list? The hesitation on this, why this could go really bad, is there are a couple of these that are not final books. They're not got caught up on, like Whispers of the Mist. I still have 2 more books, and I probably will finish that series. Like, I'm not predicting to not like that. I actually like that series quite a bit, but I never gravitate towards picking it up, so it's on this list. So if we pick that one, we may do a binge. What Hunts Inside the Shadow is one where I liked book 1, but it's been so long. There's potential for me to DNF that one, but then there's also potential for me to like love it, and there's still a 3rd book in that series. Shorefall, same thing. I read Foundry Side like 5, 6 years ago, so like big potential for me to DNF that. But like I loved Foundry Side, so like I also could just get sucked back into that. Oh, These Infinite Threads. This is a scary one because that's going to be a decision for me whether I want to continue on in that series or DNF it. But the rest I think are all final books. We have Blood of Dragons, Caged in Shadow, House of Secrets, The Golden Enclave, The Girl in the Moon, Ghostsmith, some very scary boys on this list. I'm just going to put this on the ground next to me and use my phone for a little cam moment. Pressing record now. I don't know what I want. This is really scary. I'm kind of nervous. I'm procrastinating this. Okay. You can do it. You're a big girl. Okay, that's a scary one, but we will be reading Shorefall. This is by Robert Jackson Bennett. As I said, I read this 5, 6 years ago. I really did like Foundry Side. I thought it was really unique. But in a previous reader DNF, I actually think almost exactly a year ago, I think I read it in my wrapped up version. I actually DNF'd the 2nd book in another series by this author because I struggle with Robert Jackson Bennett a little bit. I really like his concepts. I think they're really cool, but the characters kind of lose me. And so I'm worried that's going to happen in this one as well, especially with it being so long since I read the first one. But I'm also interested to get this off the the list or to continue it and finish it, something like that, just because it has been on my list for so long. Actually, I can literally tell you when I read it because my spreadsheet is color-coded by year that I read it. So I read Foundry Side in 2020. So wish me luck with Shorefall. Wish me a lot of luck, please. Predictions right now in the comments whether I am going to DNF this or not in the next clip. I have a feeling I'm gonna film a clip, tell you that I like it, and then film another clip and be like, nah, I'm actually gonna DNF it. Because I have a tendency to do that, especially with books like I'm kind of liking but not loving. That tends to be the thing I do, and I have a feeling that this book is going to be like 3-star vibes for me, but I'm hoping for 4 or 5-star vibes. Also, I have a dishwasher, thank the Lord. We've spent a week in this house without a dishwasher, and I hate washing dishes, but yesterday Nick and me were trying to figure out how to fix it. We became plumbers, and today Nick fixed it for me, so very exciting that tonight I don't have to wash dishes by hand. I am a put everything in the dishwasher kind of person. So this was very hard for me without a dishwasher. This thing loves to slide me this way. Let me just shimmy. I made dinner and I listened to Shorefall. We did an easy dinner tonight, and we just have pierogies, kubasa, bacon, and a heap full of sour cream on my plate. And then also, because I went grocery shopping earlier, I stopped at the liquor store and I picked up wine. And I'm very excited. This will be my first wine in the new house, and I'm gonna snuggle up and play some video games while I continue listening to Shorefall. Actually, I'm gonna watch YouTube while I eat, but then we're gonna play Shorefall. I regret to inform you that I forgot how cool this magic system is. I forgot, and it's one of the coolest. You essentially like scribe things to other things, like to inanimate objects. People are scribers and they write and kind of like tell these things a formula. And then our main character is like a heist thief person. We kind of have like a whole heist group in the second book, and she is really good at like talking to them. Not everyone can talk to them, I don't think. I think it's like her ability, and she can like talk to them and tell them like things that were wrong about their formula and like change the formula. So like these things are not the best at time, so she'll be like, the rules you were given is that you had to do this every 4 seconds. Like for example, a lock, you have 4 seconds after the key goes in to unlock, but what is 4 seconds? And she'll change 4 seconds to be longer than 4 seconds so that the lock will open because it thinks it's doing its job. And I just find that really interesting. I do love a heist story, and so I'm hoping we have another heist arc in this book because we did have one in Foundry Side, and I'm intrigued a lot if there is one. So hopefully that continues, or maybe hopefully it doesn't continue, because if that continues, we took another side quest. Good morning. You are seeing before coffee, Cassidy. I need to put ice in this. It's an eggnog latte. I'm very, very excited for it. Also, I found, let me show you. Eggnog spice. So far I'm a big fan. I've been putting it in my hot coffees every morning. It's working for me. Sorry that the lighting is awful. As I said, it's morning. Let me put ice in this, and then I'm gonna chit chat to you about Shorefall. I'm actually flying through Shorefall. Not what I wanted, but I'm also happy about it. I just forgot how like incredibly unique this world building and magic system feels, that I'm really enjoying it. I'm on chapter 16, so I'm 40% through, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm also completely lost because I read Foundry Side so long ago. I don't remember what happened to make each character a character. I remember our main character, and that's really about it. And then I think I remember the one like lead scriber, but there's like this other like animatronic, it's not an animatronic, this person with a plate in his head that I'm like, okay, I should probably remember more than I do about him. He seems like a pivotal character in this second book. I want lots of this. I'm just gonna coat the top. It smells so good. And so like I'm also like completely lost by character and character relationships, and I think I would have liked this so much better if I had just like read it back in the day right after Foundry Side. Part of me is like, should I DNF this and go back and like restart the series, because I did enjoy Foundry Side, but also I can't bring myself to do that. So here we are, just having a good time still. Like I am having a good time. I'm enjoying the heist we're about to do, and the moments between the characters I do still enjoy. I think that they're really good characters. I just don't remember like how our main main character met them all and things like that. So like that's kind of like what I personally am struggling with. But like the actual like moments between them, I'm not struggling with that. I think it's gonna be a 3-star vibe. However, this is really bad. It means I went on another side quest, because if I'm enjoying this means I still have a third book in this series to finish. And I'm already at an hour and 10 minutes of raw footage for this vlog, and we've only completed 3 out of 8 books. It won't be this long after like editing it down a little bit, but that's a lot of raw footage already. I don't edit down that much. I think we'll be just under an hour, probably like 50 minutes after editing. This could be a film, so hopefully I need to like not go on side quests, but I was actually kind of expecting to DNF this because it's been so long, but like I'm just having a good time. And so how can I DNF something I'm having a good time with? I would enjoy it more, you know, if I did what I should do, but I'm not gonna do that. Typical Cassidy. Also, I somehow got paint on my fingernail for like the 1 second I helped Nick yesterday. How am I like this? Okay, goodbye. I'll see you later when I'm not half asleep, half drinking coffee, Cassidy. Ooh. Oh, I'm getting old. It kind of hurts to sit on the ground. I did it. I finally finished Shorefall. That's the book I'm on, right? That's the title. We're gonna brush my hair too because it feels kind of gross. I have very conflicted feelings on this one. It's also funny that I'm showing you brushing my hair this time. I brush my hair pretty much before every single clip. You know what? I enjoyed this. That's why I finished it. I felt like I would probably want to continue on in the series, but I'm actually thinking I may DNF the series. I'm giving this book 3 stars. I think I really would have enjoyed it more if I had read it right after reading Foundry Side, but also I think Foundry Side shines for me. From what I remember on Foundry Side, it was like falling in love with our main character and this really cool magic system, and Clef, which is like this inanimate key that talks in her head, and all the other objects that also talk in her head, and just like learning how it all works, and then this like epic heist that they put together. I love a heist story so much, and sometimes I think I want that again in a series that starts with a heist and I don't get it. I feel like once you give me one heist, almost every single other book needs to be a heist, or it needs to be like leading up to a heist. And I did really enjoy this book, and there were little moments of them like doing small heists, I guess, or having to like break into something. I think this book started off really strong with me with that starting point, and then I got really confused in the ending point. Like the ending hour, my brain just could not comprehend what was going down, and I think part of that was because I was still struggling trying to put together who was who and like what happened to them in book 1 to then make them who or what they are in book 2. And then there's sacrifices and stuff that I just found I didn't really care about. I was reading this for this like really cool magic system that I think has been developed in this world building within this story, and I think that's how I feel about every Robert Jackson Bennett book that I pick up. Is his world building just screams to me. It's so unique, it pulls me in, but I just don't connect to the characters, and I am gonna blame the fact that I didn't pick this one up right after Foundry Side. And part of me wants to be like, I'm just gonna continue, I'm gonna finish this series, maybe we go right into it. But then part of me is just like, if I don't pick this 3rd book up right now, am I ever going to pick it up? And I think the answer is no. And I think that's a sign for me that I should probably just decide to scrap this series. And you know what? If one day in the far out future I change my mind, who really cares? Like if one day 2 years down the line I'm like, you know what, I really would like to read that, do you care? Because I don't. And I know that I most likely, like, that is the future of 1% of choices I could make. Like there's so slim a chance that that's me, and why do I keep it on this list for that 1% chance in the future? So I think I'm going to DNF the series. I think we are going to have our 4th series be completed in this vlog, so we have 4 more to go. I don't know what to read next, I'm not gonna lie. This one was hard enough for me to pick, and that's why a wheel picked. And I'm like, I could let the wheel pick again, but there's still some really scary things on this wheel. Like really scary things. Technically I am reading a fun book. I haven't talk to you about it. I mentioned it earlier that I'm reading a book before bed. I'm reading Brimstone currently, so that hopefully will count for this video. I'm just reading it so slowly because of how little physical reading time I've been having that I have nothing to update you with besides that I'm really enjoying it. So I am hoping that once I have read enough, I can come here and give an update and put that in this vlog because that will catch me up on a series. I really don't know what to do. I feel like I should read a final book, but I want something good. I feel like this also is why I need to DNF the Foundry Side series, because I'm feeling like I was into that but also bored at once, and I don't want to feel that way again. And I feel like I've been feeling that a decent amount, and that's why I side quested to Dungeon Crawler Crawl 5, because I just knew it was going to be incredible, even though like I loved Princess of Blood and I even enjoyed The Dark Mirror. But I just want something that's going to engage me. But also I'm like, is the problem that I'm not physically reading? I am a physical reader first. That is my preferred way to read. I just have had so little time to do that that I don't know. I'm really struggling. I'm just touching this and that's gonna be really annoying in editing. But this is how I feel right now. This... I don't know. Help. Someone tell me what to do, even though this video is... I need you to tell me what to do right now, not while you're watching this. I wish I owned more of them physically because I could make Nick pick me a book potentially. Do I own? I don't think I own any of the audiobooks physically though. Okay. I'll just come back to you when I figure it out because currently not in the brain state to figure it out, apparently. We're probably just gonna live with the light shining on me. It's gonna happen a lot in this new house. We just have so many beautiful windows in here. This one is coming from our dining room. Currently we don't have any like curtains or blinds up. We need to buy some, but they're expensive and it's like a decision I have to make, and I'm having a hard time making decisions. And that's like crazy because like I'm a good decision maker typically. Probably not evident by the last clip in this vlog though, but typically I'm pretty good at making decisions. Today we are painting. It is a painting day. We are hoping that if me and Nick work together, we can grind out our basement and have it done or like almost done. We ended up picking paint colors and just being really boring because we couldn't make a decision. I wanted to go darker, but Nick didn't want to go too dark because then he felt like it was a dungeon down there. He likes a lot of light. I prefer like a cozier mood. And then the mid colors I felt were too like puke brown down there. So we're literally just painting it the same as upstairs since we know we like upstairs. But we painted our laundry room a green color because we have a green wall up here that Nick really likes, and we had paint, and I was like, well, the laundry room could go green, and then eventually when we redo the floor we could put like green and white checkered tile in there, which I think will look really pretty. But yeah, we're gonna grind out painting today, so I'm probably gonna put an audiobook in. I still haven't made a decision on that, so it's gonna be a split decision. As I'm putting the audiobook on, I'm just gonna be like, well, I have access to this, let's read it. So I don't know what I'm talking to you about then, and who knows how many updates we'll have, because typically I just like fly through books while painting just because it's so monotonous, and like I'm doing it for so long and I'm not doing much else. I can speed it up quite a bit, versus in video games I listen to my audiobooks a lot slower because I don't want to miss anything. But I finally can talk to you about my physical book. I have been reading Brimstone and I'm 25% in. I flew through a chunk of it this morning, which is really good. I didn't realize how far I had gotten in. I think I'm actually 200-ish pages. It's a longish book. I always love when I read a book and I don't know how many pages I've read because it just means that I'm invested. But I will say the first 10% was the opposite for me. It felt very slow. I noticed the first 100 pages. I was like, okay, where is the plot? I specifically hate when I leave a book on like a huge cliffhanger and then it's a very slow beginning. I definitely wanted to dive deeper into everything that was happening. I think the first 3 chapters I really enjoyed as they dived into that, and then after that it was a lot of smut, a lot of like them talking about how they want to rip each other's clothes off and things like that. And then we're finally back into like plot and like pacing of a story, which is what I'm actively reading for. I do love a romance, don't get me wrong, but I do really love fantasy specifically for its plot, and that's why I read romantasy fantasy and not regular romance. I don't typically enjoy regular romance very much unless there's like a plot, like a romantic suspense with like a good plot. That's for me, but just like regular romance isn't at this moment in time in my reading, because I love plot. I love an action-packed story that's really going somewhere. So yeah, the first 100 pages I struggled a little bit with, but then we got into the next 100 pages and I've really enjoyed it. I think my biggest complaint is actually about Carrion, and that hurts me so hard to say because I love Carrion Swift. I named a whole ass city after him. You know Realmathon last year? You know how it was named Carrion City? That was named after Carrion Swift. I had just read this book. Oh my god, the sun is coming out. This is how much it knows I love Carrion Swift. It wants to make me glow. Can I just like, okay, if we just move over here, I think we're good. A little scene change, I guess. And I think in this book, I'm kind of over the Carrion joke of him like talking too much and being annoying. I think specifically when I get into Kingfisher's head, it's just a lot of back and forth between them bickering and stuff. And it just feels like a joke that is funny and has been funny and has its funny moment when it's like perfectly timed, but it's being overdone for me so that I'm more annoyed at it than enjoying it. I love humor when it's like well timed. I am not a big fan of a comedian. Like, you know that person in a group setting who just every line that they're making is a joke, and so they're not actually funny, it's just that they try so hard to be funny that like something has to hit. Like if you're saying 10 jokes and only one hits, you're not actually funny, but like because you're saying 10 jokes constantly, people think you're funny. I'm not a fan of that person. That's the person I'm avoiding in a room. I like the person who like just perfectly times their jokes and it's hilarious. That's who I want to be around. And I just feel like in book one, it felt perfectly timed for me. It felt like comedic relief. In this, it feels annoying. And I'm hoping that calms down a little bit, especially as Kingfisher and Carrion like hang out a little bit more, you know? I'm intrigued by the plot though. I'm intrigued by everything that's going on. This world is just so expansive that it's taking me a little bit to remember everything that happened in book one, but I am remembering it. I do think that this would be an incredible binge. Reading them back to back, I think would feel amazing. I kind of wish that I hadn't read Quicksilver already because I'm just not a big rereader, because I think if I had read that and then gone right into this would be amazing. But that's kind of how I'm gonna feel about every single book that comes out in this series. That's kind of just how I feel about series in general. I just love to read them back to back. It's just the best experience in my opinion. But it is what I needed. I needed a physical read, I think. I needed to like just grip my claws into an ebook. So I'm having fun with that. And now we're gonna switch to an audiobook. And hopefully this vlog makes a little more progress. It is almost Christmas and I started this in November. I read the first book of this in November. So I'm definitely making slow progress here, but I forget how much I just love doing this type of vlog. I just love that I have an end goal, but like I can read a lot of things in between. Like I don't have a set TBR at all. I can mood read as I go around like a vague style of story. Like in this, it's my series, but I just love having like a goal of 8 books to get to. It really keeps me reading. It keeps me having fun in this. It keeps me excited to pick up something new. It forces me to like want to finish the books I'm reading, even if they're like dragging on a little bit, because I'm like, well, if I finish this, I get to the next book. And like, it's just an adrenaline rush for me. And so I really should do more of these types of videos. This is why you're kind of getting it back to back, because I had just done my Goodreads Choice Awards, which was like, I can't stop reading until I read a 5-star. Just having that end point goal, obsessed with it. So if you have any other like similar thought processes like that I could do, leave it down below. Like I want to do this video in other genres or like formats of some sort with other goals to go in mind, like, you know, something like that. Reading challenges, my subscription boxes are things that I'm trying to prioritize in the new year. I don't know, give me ideas because I want them. I really do want them, and I value feedback so much. So let me know. I gotta go paint. I can hear Nick stress coughing downstairs. Whenever he's doing something stressful that he doesn't want to do, he just starts to cough. Okay, I ended up starting The Last Town by Blake Crouch because my Libby hold came in. So that's exciting. And we're painting, so it's dark. And I'm starting in a really random spot and Nick's gonna yell at me. Not actually yell. I'm 20% into it already. It reads so freaking quickly, which I knew it was going to. I need to just essentially cut into these holes because we're gonna roll this, but the roller is not gonna get into these holes. So I'm taking a brush into here. But I knew this was going to read quickly, which is why I decided to read it. Sorry if you can hear my furnace. We have no doors on things right now because we have to paint them because we're crazy and we painted all these things upstairs and we're going to do it downstairs now too. But it starts literally where it ended, which did take me a second to be like, okay, what is happening again? Because it's been a while since I read book 2. I remember finishing book 2 and just, I'm painting all of this anyways, so thinking that this was a series that I liked, but a series I didn't want to spend money on, and so that's why I had a Libby hold. And honestly, I've been postponing this Libby hold forever because I've just never been in like the right spot to pick this book up. However, obviously like right now is, and I'm really happy that it is a series I decided to continue because every single time I pick it up, I thoroughly find myself enjoying it, which is not actually shocking because I love Blake Crouch. Like Recursion, Dark Matter, some of my favorites. Oh, that furnace is loud with no door. Why am I shocked that I like this series so much? I don't know. Also, if you know anything about this series, essentially we wake up with no memories in a town that you can't go outside. You're kind of forced into certain jobs and like marriages, and you're kind of told this was what your life was, and when you wake up and that there's something that happened outside and you can't leave the town. And when we're in book 3, shit is going down. That is for sure. So yeah, I think I'm gonna fly through this. I don't know if I'm gonna have many thoughts. I really do enjoy our main character in this. I just enjoy watching what is going down and like survival elements in this story. And I do love like the action and the gore as well. And this first 20% has been so gory already. And I'm just like, how is everything going to come to its conclusion? And I'm really excited to find that out. I'm still here painting, but I'm done a full wall, and so I'm almost done this part at least. But I finished the book, and you know what? I'm giving this 4 stars. I'm really happy I picked this up. I know I didn't really update a lot. This book kind of just is what it is. If you liked the first 2 books and you like a more action-packed story, you're gonna like this 3rd book. I thought the resolution to this was really good. I literally had to go look up to see if there's a sequel series. I don't think that made sense. I literally had to go look up to see. I don't know how else to say that, but you get the gist. And I don't really have a lot to say besides that I really, really enjoyed this. It left some mystery still, but resolved other things that I cared about. I think this could have been a 5-star. You've heard this from me time and time again. If I had read it as a series, like if I had marathoned these books, I think I would have liked this a little bit more because I did just struggle to connect to the characters a little bit. And I think I said that when I read the 2nd book as well. I did read it in a Reader DNF episode. Maybe I read it in Reader DNF Wrapped Up as well. I think I did. I think I unwrapped this book in there. And so it's been a struggle with me the entire series, which it's hard to say if it's just because the characters lack some complexity to them, and I think it might, or if it's just because I struggle a lot. I'm really learning that as I do this series. I really struggle when I've been given time away from characters. I kind of forget things about them, and like I just don't exist as obsessed with them as I did when I read the first one. It just takes me a while to like feel for them again, which makes sense in my everyday life. It takes me a while to care about someone, but once I do, you know? But then I guess no, I don't like leave them for a couple years and just stop caring about them. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, but I enjoyed this. I probably will start another book tonight because we have a lot of painting left to do. I probably have another like at least 5 hours of painting, but I don't know what I want to start. But this did get us, I think we're on 5, right? That's the 5th series we've finished somehow. Please tell me I'm right. And then Brimstone will end up being our 6th. So we have like not that far off to go anymore. Like we're making progress here finally. So I'll figure out what I'm reading, I guess, and let you know. I'm up here to refill my water, but I figured I would film a vlog clip. Sorry if you hear Nick like scraping and painting. I made it to chapter 7 of House of Secrets. That's what I decided to start, which is the 2nd book in a Darcy Coates series. She doesn't have a lot of series, but I love Darcy Coates. I've given her at least 3 stars pretty much every time I've read something from her. The first book in this was just like okay. It wasn't absolutely amazing, incredible, but I've always wanted to read her entire backlist because I do enjoy her so much. So it's a haunted house story, but this one also has a romance in it. It's kind of like a horror romance. We follow our main character who's set to marry this like wealthy man, but when she gets there, things aren't as it seems. There's something happening in the house, and turns out the family has made a deal with the demon at some point. So that's a lot of fun. I do really enjoy it, and I have found the first like 7 chapters have done a really good job of getting me up to date with like what happened last time, because when did I read House of Secrets? I read House of Shadows, the first book, in 2023. So 2 years ago, so it has been a while. Not as long as some of the other ones, but it has been a while. And I'm already remembering little bits and pieces of what happened in book 1, and that's always a good thing. I'm expecting to enjoy this. It's also gonna be really quick, so I think that I will be able to finish it tonight, which is why I decided to pick it. And also it's a book that I'm never picking up. Like, I'm never gravitating towards this book. I typically gravitate towards trying another Darcy Coates or something like that. Like, I have newer books by her. Her backlist isn't my absolute favorite. I tend to like her newer books a little bit better, but I enjoy her works overall, which is why I want to read them all. So like, it's a good pick. I just never feel the need to read it, so I'm happy like this is pushing me to read it, you know? Don't look at the boxes we have back there. Just ignore them. They don't exist. You can look at my zebra painting that I've had since I was like in 10th grade, and I love it. So it's gonna go up somewhere. I thought I was gonna cover it, and then I looked at it again and I was like, no, I literally love this thing. Why would I ever cover it? Updates for you. We finished the Darcy Coates. I liked this one more than I liked the first book in the series, actually. I thought the plot was good. I was engaged with the characters. I enjoyed that although their like romance had happened, we still saw like a new romance blossom between them almost. I don't know how to explain it because there's kind of a bit of a conflict between them. So their romance is kind of struggling and they have to work through it a little bit. I think I just enjoyed that she interacted with the characters a little bit more than in the first one, because in the first one, they're kind of putting her at a distance for a very valid reasoning, but it didn't help with my enjoyment a little bit. I felt like this one was quick paced. I was engaged in what we had to do, what was happening. I liked how she puzzled things together. I liked some of the twists and turns and the spooky gothic atmosphere. I loved that like there was this bridge that they had to cross. There was like a really fun moment with the dead that I really liked with the bridge. There's so many elements of this that I see are part of why I love Darcy Coates' new stuff. This definitely isn't as strong, but it had those elements and I enjoyed that part of it. So overall, had a good time. I'm giving it 4 stars. Like, I really did enjoy this, which is funny because I think I said in the first one that I was kind of bored. I think I didn't love the first book, and I think I was like, oh, I don't need to read the sequel, but it's Darcy Coates, so I'm going to, and I really am glad I picked up the sequel because, as I said, I liked it a little bit more. That's always a good feeling. And then today we had another big day of painting. We painted from like 10 to 4 o'clock-ish, and then I ate dinner and then streamed. And so I put an audiobook in, and I couldn't decide what I wanted to read, and since I was already physically reading Brimstone, I just decided to get the audiobook for that and listen to the audiobook. So I've made a really big dent in Brimstone. I'm on chapter 30. I'm gonna look in the ebook to see where that puts me. I'm hoping it puts me at around 50%. If I'm past 50%, I'm gonna feel a little something. 56, so close enough. I do think that not enough has happened, so I was a little bit worried. I was further into the story than I wanted to be, so I'm glad that we're only around that 50% mark because there's so much more that I think should and could happen in this story. I feel like we've had a lot of character moments in this first half. We've had a lot of like slower moments, but I have loved the action-packed moments that we do get, and thank the Lord I can finally say that I'm back to loving Carrie Ann Swift. I think I just really struggled with Kingfisher's perspective on him. They kind of have some moments together in this where we kind of get like a breakthrough in their relationship, like their friendship together. And I really needed that breakthrough to happen. I kind of wish it happened a little bit sooner, or that we just hadn't like run that joke down so hard. But now that that joke is over with, I can appreciate the two of them and their banter quite a bit. I really enjoyed the moments together. I actually found myself wanting to escape into Kingfisher chapters more than I wanted to escape into Sarah's chapters, which is interesting because there's also really cool things happening with her. However, I also find she's just like really good at everything she does, and that kind of frustrates me. Like, she never suffers. Well, she does suffer, but she never like, I don't know, like she's just good at everything, and she's a main character, so that's why. But sometimes I just am like, can we knock you down a peg? Like, he makes sense to be good at everything. He's had so much time time to have gone through and like practiced, but you're brand new to this and you already have complete control over your power so quickly. And I know that's just kind of worked into the magic system, but it's not my preferred style of magic. But I do find this story just so freaking cool and expansive. I love the world building in it. Ugh, there's so much to love about that. I will say there's too much smut. I'm like, can we just please fade to black sometimes? For my personal enjoyment, I don't need smut scenes back to back. Even like with 1 or 2 chapters in between them, that's like too close together for me. I do not mind some smut scenes. I think that I do really enjoy them when they make sense, when I feel like the characters really need it, they're letting out tension, like, you know, when the vibes hit, the vibes are right. But we could just fade to black sometime. We don't need to always see it. We can close the door and we'll understand. We can be the other characters who knew that they were doing it the next day. We don't need to see it, but that's probably a hot take, and a lot of people love smut. So just my own personal preference is a little bit too much hanky-panky and wanting to do the hanky-panky, and a lot of talk about smelling other people when they've done the hanky-panky. And I'm just like, it's fine. We could just pretend. We could just pretend that none of this happened. And I'm not a prude, but I just prefer plot and world building, and there's like all these other cooler things that I would like to get to. Even like character moments and character relationships, and like, can we get back to that and stop talking about this? That's how I feel. Personal preference though. Definitely personal preference. There's nothing wrong with what's being written. I just would prefer the action not be climaxing so much. Okay, bye. Good night. I'm going to bed. See you tomorrow. Good morning. I finished Brimstone a couple days ago, so we need to catch up on that together. Also, I accidentally put pepper in my coffee this morning instead of eggnog spice. Thankfully, I caught it really quickly, so I just scooped it off the top, but I think there's some lingering pepper in here, so I added more eggnog, which is what you just saw me do. Try and mask the pepper flavor. I could just make another coffee, but I don't have a lot of eggnog left. But Brimstone, I finished this. I have a lot of thoughts on the sequel. A reminder that I loved book 1. I read book 1 pretty early in the hype, and I was obsessed with it, I would like to say. It's a big boy book. Where is it? It's up there. I can't get it. It's a big boy book, and I read it pretty much in one day. I read it for Romantasy-a-thon last February. Incredible. Amazing. Book 2, I liked, I didn't love. I'm giving it 4 stars. I really did still enjoy it, but I do have a lot of little nitpicks and complaints in it. The biggest thing for me was the smut. I just think there was too much for my personal taste. We kind of talked about this earlier. But then also, I think just about the type of smut it is wasn't my preferred. And I don't know what it was, because I think it's probably similar to the smut in Quicksilver, which I enjoyed. Did we get Kingfisher's POV in Quicksilver? For some reason, I feel like we didn't. Am I right or wrong about that? Because I feel like we didn't. And I think it was smut with his POVs that didn't work for me. And I think it's because of what she becomes in this one. There's just a lot about scenting each other. A lot about scents in this. And I'm not about that life. And that made me kind of just uncomfortable. And then I could never enjoy the smut scenes because of how they started, or the scene before them. Just not my preferred wording choices that were made. The word mate was said far too often, which is a complaint I have a lot in fated mate books. I'm we can use their name. I prefer you to use their name. I don't like the word mate that much at all, to be honest. I like the concept of fated mates, but I don't really like hun or babe either. I just find it very cringe. I like personal nicknames, but these nicknames that are all encompassing, what's the point? What makes them special? That's something for me that I just I could live without. So, personal opinions, too much scenting, too much mate, too much smut. Another nitpick is just kind of what the story is. It is a vision story. It is about the fates, and we see what was going on and things like that. And that is not my preferred choice in story at all. So honestly, props to this story that I do enjoy so much of it, with it being something that I actively dislike in stories most of the time. But I feel a lot of the fun was taken out for me of character decisions and watching characters come to their own conclusions due to this thing that they find in this book that kind of of just tells them everything that they need to know when they need to know it. And I'm just like, it feels almost lazy to me because I could have seen our characters making those choices and you've just kind of been like lazy and been like, well, I don't have to explain why they made those choices because this thing told them to make it. And I just like kind of wish we had gotten to see thought processes and like character development and character growth to make them make the decisions they make, or like, you know, like just things like that. I just find it kind of lazy. I'm not the biggest fan of visions and stories in general because I feel like it leads to conveniences and things like that. And then I think I just have a complaint about our main character being the chosen one. The chosen one trope to the 10th degree because she is goddamn good at literally everything. She picks everything up so quickly. She makes all the right decisions. I just, like, nothing bad lasts for her. There's a lot of convenient things that happen in this story, like her magic just comes to her at the exact right time and she knows exactly how to control it in this moment and things like that. So those are kind of my like major complaints with it. But the things I love about Brimstone is the world building. It's so expansive. It's so complex. There's all these different creatures and characters and realms and magic systems and things like that. There's so much to discover. Characters are discovering new things. It's so well developed and fleshed out in my mind and like unique in so many ways with like common archetypes and common tropes just like flipped a little bit. Love that. Ate up every single moment of plot we got in this book. There wasn't enough in my opinion. There wasn't even enough character moments in my opinion. There was just too much like fluff. It felt like a set of books though, and I loved the ending. Like the ending was incredible. Also, I loved Carrion. And I have a new favorite character as well because I also love Foley so much. I'm very excited to see what the rest of the stories bring with like his character and things like that. So yeah, I did really enjoy this. I gave it 4 stars. I just couldn't give it a 5-star because I did have all those like little nitpicks. They're tiny things in the grand scheme of things because I still had so much fun. I still really enjoyed this. I still cannot wait for the 3rd book. I'm still very much calling this one of my favorite books, like series so far that I'm currently reading. Very, very nitpicky. We're moving on to our next read, and I did film something last night for it. Listen, it's Christmas, and I know some of you might think this is so sad, but I am home alone for Christmas, and I'm so freaking excited about it. I have a glass of wine and some chocolates, and I am just curling up to play some video games and probably listen to an audiobook. So I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to be starting The Mist Thief because I actually am done Brimstone. I'm just not ready to talk about it quite yet. It's been a busy couple days, which is why I'm so excited just to be by myself tonight and do whatever I want to do. It's a Christmas miracle in my opinion. I think it's incredible. Other people might not. I was with my family last night. And Nick's with his family tonight. We didn't go to each other's, so I got a night to myself tonight. I literally have 3 copies of The Everking, which is kind of unheard of for me and a story. I do not own a lot of series multiple copies. This, Fourth Wing, Serpent, Blood and Steel technically, and Poppy War, I think are the only things that I actually own multiple copies of the book. And most of those are only 2. Like this is, I think, the only one that I own 3 of. I obviously loved this. I loved this so much. And so I'm very, very excited that I'm diving into The Mist Thief and that I'm enjoying it so far. I'm on chapter 6, so I'm not like super far in. I think it's about 10%. And this is a standalone companion to the Everking series. Technically, it's all still part of the same world, but it's said that you could read them as standalones. I don't believe that, in my opinion. I fully believe that you should read the Everking before reading The Mist Thief at this moment in time. I just think you'd be a little confused by the endings of this. You'd also be spoiled for the endings of this. I do think it's a series. It's just following different couples each time. I don't feel like it feels like companions, but maybe I'm wrong. But in The Mist Thief, it's an arranged marriage, which is always something that works for me. It honestly even kind of feels a bit like a marriage of convenience. They are different things. They group together a lot, but they technically are different things. But the idea behind their arranged marriage is for an alliance that brings the safety of both of their kingdoms. And they're not necessarily the ones choosing to go into this alliance, which is why it feels like an arranged marriage to me more than just a marriage of convenience where they're like agreeing to do something. But it has a little bit of that because they're both like not against it due to what it'll bring for them. And she is supposed to be heartless, which is a little bit scary for me. It doesn't always work for me, but I think we're already seeing in her chapters how she's not really heartless, and it's kind of a bit of a persona that she's putting on. And so I think that will work for me a little bit more than it worked for me in like Two Twisted Crowns. I hated that she was like heartless in that one. It did not work for me at all. And then he's like this like shadow prince who's not scared of darkness, and her power is supposed to be like really dark, and he's like, I'm not scared of you. And she's like, what? And it's just like good banter already. I'm very, very, very excited for this. I'm very excited. I think that it could be my favorite in the series, which is saying something because I loved the Everking duet a lot. We finished the trim color. We are painting this at some point in our future. We just don't really know when, or I'm gonna try and bring it back to brick. But we painted downstairs. Everything is done, and I cannot explain to you how much nicer it looks down here than it used to look. Like, this is leagues nicer. I am normally someone who hates painting over wood, but this needed it so much. I don't know if I have a picture of what it looked like before at all. They didn't finish this off, so we had to buy a chair rail, and we finished it across, and this goes all the way into this like little nook. And this is our basement in case you needed a little mini walkthrough. This is our stairs to upstairs. And then this is the hallway. There is our laundry room over here, which is green now, but it has really fucked up tile, so we need to figure that out. And then this room needs some love still, but it does look way nicer now that it's painted. This is gonna be our guest bedroom. There's a bathroom here, and then my library is through here. So yeah, today we are steam cleaning our carpets. I got this vacuum shop vac steam cleaner out, so hopefully I'll make some good progress in the Mist Thief. Oh, I left my coffee in the other room. It doesn't have pepper in it today. That's a plus. Oh, it's really weird because you're sitting there, but it's fine. You need to get used to it. Nick's right there. I don't like
it. The show.
I did happen to read a decent amount of The Mist Thief last night while steam cleaning a bunch of things. I'm not even done yet. We had steam cleaner issues. Things weren't working properly. It's a big thing. We gotta figure it out. But the couch cushions are looking nicer this morning. So that's a win because they've been in storage for a while and getting dirty. And then we did all the renovations and everything's dirty. Okay, I'm on chapter 29 of The Mist Thief. Let me open Kindle and see how far that is, since Audible does not tell me a percent. We're 52% in, so I picked a really good time to check in. I am liking this one less than the original duology, definitely, but I think for the first time this book has made me want to go back and read the original series. So this series, this whole world, this is like the children of the original series, and I just like dived deep in with the Everking because that was like the popular one and that's what I wanted to read, and I'm glad I started there because I really enjoyed it. But there is like 6 or 7 books in a different series that's like a prequel series to this about their parents, and I never cared about that when I read the Everking and the Everqueen. I was like, I don't really care about the parents and what we're seeing. But being with the Mist Thief place in the society that we're in, as we get to know the whole like society itself, how it's like these royals that are built upon like thieves, I've really enjoyed seeing the mom and dad and their love story and how it ended. I feel like I'm intrigued, like the love he has for her and she has for him. I like want to see it come together, and then also just like his power and how it's related to her is so freaking cute. So like I kind of want to see all of that. So I think for literally the first time while reading the series, I might go back. I might read the original series. I don't think it matters. I'm not like a person that really cares about spoilers. I'm reading romances, so I know they're gonna end up together anyway, so it doesn't bother me that like in this series, like in this book, I've already seen them happy and I know their conclusion because I'm reading a romance. The conclusion is that they're together at the end, that there's a happily ever after. And I don't know, like it doesn't give away how everything went went down at all. So I'm excited for that. I have to figure out what book theirs even is because I'm intrigued. There's also another arranged marriage in that previous series as well, not following the parents, but I think I could be intrigued by that one as well. I really like the society in this. I like how they have like little things that have been based upon how they grew up. Since the queen and king were thieves, there's like rules about how if you steal from someone else can like plan a heist to steal it back, and there's like this whole like cool complicated system about robbery and thievery that makes sense within their society and actually has stopped a lot of crime and stuff within the society. I like the discussions as we've had this arranged marriage in this actual book, like talking about this romance now between the Nightmare Prince and the Mist Thief, when they're making their vows and stuff, and her dad is like putting all these things about how he's gonna have mistresses and things like that, and we see this society be like, that's not how it works over here, like we care about the people we date. And I just like think that that's kind of fun to see the dichotomy of, and it just feels very like past versus present in my opinion, like the culture that we all have known about in the past where women were just like objects versus like modern day relationships where it's like a partnership. So I've been enjoying that aspect. I do enjoy the two of them together as well. I think their banter is quite fun. Like I like their moments together, but I think my biggest complaint is I feel like they fell too fast, especially Jonas, who I feel like was all like, I'm only doing this for an alliance, I don't care about her, romance is not in the cards for me, I've never wanted to be loved. And then like he meets her and he's like, oh fuck, I want to get in her bed and be loved by her. And I just feel like that happens, like there's like no reasoning for it. I also think their like banter that's more sexual feels kind of misplaced. I love their banter that's a little bit more just back and forth about like teasing each other, but some of the romance, like the sexy time scenes, I've just felt forced to be like the more common banter we all know. Although I would say my favorite type of banter is like feisty banter, like swords and weapons and like who can best each other. Like I loved there's like a fighting scene of them like dueling each other, and I thought that was really fun. That's like my favorite type of banter across all romantasy, and I feel like I want more of that in this one and less of the like sexy time banter. It just feels not true to who they are as people as much. I've enjoyed both of them. I've enjoyed just getting to know the world. I will say earlier in this vlog, I said that this was not a standalone companion. I felt like you had to read the Everking duet. I changed my opinion on this. This feels so excluded from what that series was. I think you could 100% read this without reading the Everking. You would of course know that the Everking and the Everqueen get together, but again, we're reading a romance. And I guess you would be spoiled for like the war at the end of the Everqueen a little bit, but also because it was the final of a duology, I just expected the good guys to win. And there is like an overscoping like arching plot that I can see happening in all of these, but really when it comes down to it, the core of this story is the romance. Specifically in this one, I feel like the Everking, Everqueen felt a little bit more plot-ish than this one does, so I think you could read this one without reading the others. I do miss the characters from the Everking and the Everqueen. I was expecting to see these like found family characters within all of them because I feel like they were so important to both sides of that duet, and I felt like Jonas and the Everqueen, I forget her name, Livia? Is that what it is? It's been a while. We don't really hear about her in this. They had such like a bond from childhood and they were like best friends and they were hanging out, and then we get to his book and she's nowhere to be seen, and maybe it's because she's off being in love and ruling a kingdom, but I wanted to see those characters a little bit more. Even his brother, I feel like we've barely seen. I think we've seen the queen and the king a little bit more, probably the most. But yeah, I'm enjoying this one. It's probably gonna be a 3-star. Like it's not anything incredible, but it's a good time read. So hopefully I'll finish it today because I have more steam cleaning to do after I go for lunch with my family. We're getting dim sum and I'm very excited because I love dim sum. And that's it. Would you like to say anything?
Chicken butt.
Incredible.
This is episode 1 of Infiltrating Cassidy's Vlogs. This probably will not be a very interesting episode because I don't know what I'm doing, but Cassidy was not home and I saw the camera sitting there and it was calling to me. I made tea. I cleaned up the house and I really wanted to show everyone my cool sign that I bought. Not a sign, poster, art. Look at this. Oh, it's not focusing. Focus. Okay, we're focusing. We're very dark. Okay, hold on. Here we go. try number 3. Look at this beautiful sign. We're starting to get the artwork for my stream room and office. Look at this. Just put it right there on the wall. Some like cool LED lights, some like cool posters, anime stuff. That's all I got for this episode of Infiltrating Cassidy's vlog. Now we put the camera back inconspicuously. Is that the right word? Inconspicuously? Perspicuously. Just like this, and she'll never know. Episode 1 has come to an end.
This is my last vlog clip of 2025. That's kind of crazy. This is the last vlog. This was the last book I read for 2025. It is going to be 2026. I am finished my year of work, essentially. This is kind of, oh my god, another year in the books, another year with all of you. I feel like I've gotten mushy in a lot of videos, so I don't really need to do it, but just know I appreciate you all. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet, because honestly, this vlog has been going on for a full month. I was editing it last night since this is the last clip so it can go up, and it was kind of crazy. It was like a whirlwind of emotions. This started and I wasn't in the house. I've been in this house for like 3-4 weeks now, so like this is a whole month-long vlog, and it was kind of fun to relive it and have you guys come along on this like journey with me quite a bit. I really like these long vlogs actually. Like when I have a video like this where I'm reading like 8 books, I'm not stressed at all about this getting up at any point. I was just like, let's enjoy my month. It's gonna take the whole month probably. I read 8 to 10 books in a month, so that's okay. And I don't know, I just enjoyed it. So let me know if you enjoyed it, because I think I would like to prioritize some bigger boys in the next year, doing things like this, like my I Can't Stop Reading to like read a 5-star that I did for the Goodreads, like some longer vlogs because I'm reading so many books in them, but I'm also taking you along in my life a little bit and things like that. I really enjoyed this, and we have a book to talk about, The Mist Thief. I didn't really enjoy this. It was okay. The first half was probably a 3-star. The second half, probably a 2-star. So we're gonna go 2.5 and round up to a 3, because there are elements that I liked about this. I will continue on in this series, I think. I enjoy the world building quite a bit. This was a romance book in a fantasy setting, but there was not a lot of plot in it, and I don't think standalones are for me. I've never thought they were for me, and I think more and more I was like, oh, maybe a romance standalone will work. But like in fantasy, I just want more than just them falling in love. They also fell in love really quickly. I don't know. There's a lot of complaints. Maybe it is a 2-star. I don't know. I wanted more out of this. I wanted it to feel more grand scale. I think I just need a duology in my life when it comes to romantasy. It's my favorite, like duology or like 7 books long. I just think there was not enough time given in this story for plot, for characters, for the romance. Everything just ends up feeling rushed because you can't do any of those things to the degree that I personally want them. I think this one made me more excited to go back and read the previous series, but didn't make me as excited for next books in the series, because I don't even really think we got a lot of them, and I'm a little bit worried. I was really excited for like Alexi's story, but in this one I was actually more scared that it's gonna be like kind of like insta-lovey, and I don't know. I'm worried. I'm really, really worried. My love of the Ever King was it just like right time. I just picked it up in a moment that's everything I needed. Sometimes that really scares me when I read on from an author, because I also didn't like LJ Andrews' like newest work that got traditionally pubbed in the last year. I DNF'd that one. So I'm nervous, and it feels like not a great way to end this vlog. However, the great way to end this vlog is that this was our 8th series off the list. I'm caught up. I don't know when the next book in this comes out, because she's also releasing another series, but I am officially caught up on whatever this world is called. So we have finally completed 8 series. Princess of Blood, that was our first one. We side quested Dungeon Crawler Carl 5. Didn't do us anything. We DNF'd The Veiled Kingdom, book 3. We then picked up The Dark Mirror, finished that, got caught up on that series. Then we picked up The Blake Crouch, I can't remember the name of, finished a series on that one. Picked up House of Shadows by Darcy Coates, finished another series on that one. And then we read Brimstone, got caught up. That's another year at least until the next book. And then, of course, we finished on The Mist Thief, which again, we are caught up. So we made really, really good progress on this list. We started this episode of Reader DNF with 44 currently read series, and we are ending it at 36. When I do the next episode, I have a feeling we'll be back up a little bit, because I have a feeling some new releases of continuations and series are about to come, and I'm probably about to also start some in January with Booktuber favorites because that's the plan for my January vlogs. But currently I only have 36 currently read series on my list, and I think that feels really, really good. So thank you all for hanging out with me on this journey. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna leave the Reader DNF playlist on the screen in case you've missed some episodes and you want to catch up, and then I'm also gonna read my I Can't Stop Reading Until I Read a 5-star Goodreads nominee video because I love this video and it was a lot of fun, and it's another long boy for you to check out. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video and you'd like to leave me an emoji just to say you were here, leave me a pirate emoji for the Ever King, and have yourselves an absolutely remarkable day.